Next on ITV, the latest headlines and then Donahue's weekly discussion.
Dad, look!
What?
To look after your daisies during the coming months, firstly, select the correct pot. Add a little peat. Treat to a little flora that's high in polyunsaturates, low in saturates and low in cholesterol. Now, transplant to the nursery and leave to settle, while you check your new seedlings. Flora margarine for your blooming generation.
And now we go over to Richard Bath at ITN for the very latest news headlines.
2,000 tourists trapped during fighting in the Philippines are being released. Negotiations are underway with rebel troops who've been rampaging through the capital's financial district. About 400 renegades have been occupying the Makati area of Manila since the launch of an attempted coup against President Corazon Aquino last Friday. Military officials have declared a ceasefire. 6 microwave ovens have been publicly identified so far by their manufacturers after they failed a government food safety test. 24 in all failed to heat food sufficiently to kill off bacteria. The government hasn't yet named the other models. More than 100 were tested. The problems arise when the ovens fail to heat food to a high enough temperature throughout. The Olympic gymnast Nadia Comaneci says she wants to settle down with the married man who helped her defect from Romania. She turned up with Constantine Panit at a press conference in Miami. He has a family of 4 children. The couple plan to tell Mrs. Panit of their future plans later today. Mrs. Thatcher won the Tory party leadership ballot, but 60 MPs didn't vote for her. Mrs. Thatcher said the result was overwhelming. Her opponents said they'd done better than expected. 314 MPs voted for Mrs. Thatcher, 33 voted for her challenger, Sir Anthony Meyer, 24 spoiled their papers and 3 didn't vote.
Mrs. Thatcher herself, speaking in Downing Street tonight, was very well satisfied with the result.
I'd like to say how very pleased I am with this result, and very pleased I am to have had the overwhelming support of my colleagues in the House and of people from the party in the country.
Sir Anthony made one last foray into the limelight. He insisted that despite the tiny number of votes cast for him personally, the leadership election had been vital.
But at this stage of a parliament, 2 years away from a general election, I think it's thoroughly unhealthy to have a party in which we all sort of raise our arms and say, hail to the leader.
There were some MPs who felt that from now on, Mrs. Thatcher was entirely free to do her own thing.
It was only ever a mock contest, but nonetheless it was a contest. And there now won't be another one. She's free to decide her own terms, her own time of leaving, and that's how it should be.
And that's all from us for the moment. We'll be back later on.
Get ready for a big family Christmas on ITV. Meet a big monster who's not an ogre.
I is the big friendly giant. The BFG!
And meet Danny.
I think I've got an idea.
If it works, it would make Danny the all-time champion of the world.
And from out of this world, the return of the Jedi.
The Emperor has been expecting you.
It's a dog's life when you're down and out in Beverly Hills.
Who's going to give that dog fleas?
And Bet's back in Ruthless People.
I've been abducted by Huey and Dewey. God, I hate that.
Get ready for Christmas on ITV.
Well, that all looks marvellous, doesn't it? Anyway, something else that's marvellous, tonight's competition. I'm going to do something different for a change. I'm going to read you the description that Leslie Halliwell has put on a certain famous film, and also his review of it, and I want you to tell me what the film is. And this little man here, he's the prize, a lovely cuddly zippy, and the zip undoes. Absolutely super. Right, here we go. A medieval Italian prince practices devil worship while the plague rages outside. But when he holds a ball, death is an uninvited guest. And Halliwell says it's a languorous, overstretched, often visually striking horror piece with some extremely effective touches among its languors. So, do you know the film? Right, if you do, give us a ring on 01383 5520, and the lines will be open right after this week's discussion when we join Phil Donahue.
We got news for you today. No kidding, you can have a baby.